Hello everyone. So today we are going to watch another Terra Green video. It's been so long. I have shifted my content to another videos and it sucks. So today again we are going to watch insects video that you love watching. Let's continue to the video.
Today, I just got this. It's a queen ant, who in this video will
Queen
be
ant,
giving birth to an
always.
entire colony, and they're gonna be put to the test against my simulations of real-world events. But currently, she's alone, and she needs to care for her
alone,
eggs
yes.
until they hatch into worker ants. And thankfully,
I'm
it
gonna
didn't
make
take very
this
long
full.
until just that happened. The first worker was born. You see, these are trapjaw ants, a species
obviously
of ant that
first
has
worker
these
is
massive mandibles to cut their
active.
prey in half. But they're also absolutely massive compared to normal ants, and the workers are almost the same size as the queens. And in the world of ants, the workers
the same
have
size,
only one
dude.
purpose: to serve the queen. Workers do almost everything for the queens, including cleaning her and even caring for the other
So
eggs.
I have seen like most of the insects videos, and then I just realized the ants, they produce more workers and workers and workers. One job is to be serve the queen.
But I want to make my colony grow extra fast, and you do that
Yes.
by feeding them food. And since it's so small with just 2 ants, let's just start with a single drop of honey. Hopefully they
Yes,
like
a
it.
single.
So I slid the drop of honey
Yes,
into
obviously
the tube
they
for
like.
the ants to eat. And almost instantly, the worker went up to investigate this unknown object. She smelled around it for a second, but then went back to the queen to report the findings. The worker is able to communicate with the
Well, most of the time I fell asleep on the floor. I have clean in my room, but due to a bit of watermelon and the most of the insects came out onto the floor. I can't believe this, and I have to pick them one by one and drop them out of the room. So that's actually I am surviving that.
queen by rubbing its antenna against hers. When they do this, it releases some pheromones signaling that it found some honey. And after the queen
some
gave
honey.
the go-ahead, the
Ooh.
worker traveled back to the honey. But instead of eating it, the worker actually knocked the little plate over, and then the honey soaked into the sand over the next 10 minutes. Yeah, she didn't even try to eat it
no,
actually.
dude.
You see, it turns out the ant did this for a reason.
He
When
just
a colony
dropped
is
it.
this small, the queen will feed the workers by regurgitating its body tissues into
Oh
their
my
mouth.
God.
This means the
Is
colony
that
already
actually
had enough
true?
food for now. I was gonna have to wait till more ants hatched until they wanted extra food. So that's exactly what I did.
Okay,
there were now
day
4
30,
workers a part of the
8.
colony, and their roles were becoming a lot more apparent. 2 of them would
Okay, well, I'm not sure, but this thing is crazy. I believe that this dude is actually dropping more ants into that box, and he's not actually letting us know what is actually going on in this video. And I believe so the queen is not producing more eggs, and he's just actually adding more ants into the system to make that video more interesting for you.
always stay by the queen to make sure she was safe, while the other 2 would watch after the eggs and guard the entrance. Now,
Yes,
this is a
guard the
colony
entrance.
that
The
should
entrance
accept my food
already
offering.
is
And this
closed,
time, I'm
dude.
not just gonna feed them a puny drop of honey. It's time for some live prey, baby. Everyone
Okay,
say hello
actually.
to flightless fruit flies. Quite
So
literally,
he just
the most
shot now.
depressing animal in the world. Not only are they absolutely minuscule, but
some
it's
flies,
a fly that
they can't even fly, okay?
Like, bro, you had one job and you can't do it.
Alright, it's a pretty simple
Okay, yes,
process.
he's
So first
right
of all,
there,
I got
this way.
tube with the flightless fruit fly inside of it. And basically,
one
I'm just
fly.
gonna go and put this up to the ant's tube and carefully remove the cotton ball, and there we go. The fly
Then he's
should now
connected.
run in there. Hopefully this goes better than the honey.
So
And yeah,
they are
basically
going
the fly
to pick
instantly
them
ran into the
instantly,
ant's
I think,
tube,
yeah.
So I blocked it up behind him. Now,
Oh.
because this fly is so small, for the first few seconds, it actually went unnoticed, hiding amongst the top of the enclosure. But it didn't take long until the first worker noticed. The
Okay,
ant
he
opened up its
noticed
jaws
now.
and snapped at the fly, but it missed.
Whoa.
Quickly, the
Oh
other
my
workers
God.
started to notice, and soon enough, every ant had their eyes on the fly. And thankfully, about a minute later, one of the workers lined up a shot, and boom, just
oh
like
my
that,
God.
the fly is definitely
Shit,
not alive anymore.
dude.
And the fly slowly got taken to the back of the tube to be stored as food for later. Since the colony now had a bit of
Can you believe traditional modeling will finally be replaced by Trippo? The level of detail far exceeds your
food, I let them grow even more. And oh boy,
Okay.
was the tube starting to
The
get crowded
more-
now, with 3 more
So
workers
we are seeing
and 1
more
more about
workers.
to hatch.
And while this is great for my colony, as you can tell, the tube is getting extremely
So
cramped.
I'm not sure. So well, if you tell me where the queen is actually laying his eggs, I wanna see them. Yes, please. I wanna see them. So to make it true, is that video is actually true, and the queen actually build those more ants and more workers. So I wanna see the queen where actually she is laying eggs. I know, I know. This video is going to be like he going to add more ants into the that box. I don't believe this.
Some of the ants can't even walk around. So I'm gonna have to move these guys into a new home.
But here
Okay,
on the
new
Terra
one.
Green channel, we're not just gonna go online and buy an ant nest. Oh, no, no, no. What I did instead
Yes,
is take
obviously.
out a brick, which I'm
Brick.
gonna turn into an ant nest. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Okay,
Basically,
how?
I just started using a hammer and chisel to carve out this little nest design I drew on the brick. You see, ant colonies usually like to have multiple of these little tight crevice areas in their nest because it lets them
Okay.
store different things like eggs,
this is a
food,
nest
and
area,
trash in
okay.
each one. After I finished carving,
Now
I
I'm
gave the
going
whole
to
thing
see
a nice
if
blue
the
paint
queen is
job,
actually
and finally I covered it
laying
with a
eggs.
clear acrylic sheet.
And the best part
Yes.
is this little hole I made right here, which I can go and squeeze water down into this sponge. And this will just
Oh,
make the
this is
humidity
cool,
across
dude.
the whole enclosure correct, because apparently ants like wetness.
Well, anyways, here is the beautiful
Okay.
Terra Green ant nest, which is now ready for
Terra
the
Green
trapjaw
ant nest,
ants.
okay.
Using some tubing, I put one end of it onto the nest and the other end onto the tube.
The
and almost
perfect
instantly, one
cap.
of the workers
Oh my
took
God.
an interest and decided to walk down the tube. It had no idea where it led, but it took the brave decision to explore. But as we know,
Okay.
it led straight to the new nest. The
New
worker
nest,
looked
okay.
super excited and explored all around the new place. It was the perfect place for the colony to move to. So she traveled out of the nest and went straight up to the queen to report its findings.
All right,
think
now
they
that the
like
ants
living
know
in
about the
mud.
new nest, in order for them to move in,
Not
I can
in
make
the
this one
hard-
super
hard
appealing,
something
so then
allowed.
they all want to come over. And I've got a couple things I'm gonna do, but first of all, I've got a tube of sugar water, which I'm just gonna
Sugar
go and plug
water.
into the side of the nest like that. And then I'm gonna replace this clear acrylic sheet for now with this little red acrylic sheet.
You see,
Red.
ants like their
Oh,
nest
this
to be
looks
very dark
awesome.
inside. So I'm using this red acrylic because it blocks out pretty much all the light, but still lets me see inside a bit. Finally, I
Okay,
just pointed my
this
bright
is
studio light at the
actually-
tube so they'd be more inclined to move. And it didn't take very long until a few different workers all went
Okay.
in to explore the
Already
new nest.
some of the
Eventually,
other
every
ants are
ant knew
moving.
about the new home. And while some grabbed the remaining eggs to move, others, like this worker, escorted the queen through the tube to the new nest. I decided
Okay.
to keep the red acrylic screen on while they're adjusting, and as you can see, they were definitely very active inside. So I left them alone another whole 10 days. And when I came back,
whole
not only
10
did
days.
another worker or two hatch, the whole colony was now functioning
Okay,
even more.
like how he actually is going knowing that that's the new guys. How he know that these are the new guys, dude? Oh my
And
god.
it seemed like every ant was always busy doing something. They even found this tight little crevice to keep the queen and all the eggs inside of.
And this is where it gets
Okay, the one question I wanna know is I'm not sure how actually queen looks like. Queen ant looks like. I'm not sure about that. Can you guys tell me in the comment how actually the body shape and the mouth shape and the what we say is the feathers of the ants, how does looks like? I wanna know. The more interesting things is actually I wanna know how the ant queen looks like, dude.
fun, because now that the ants have their own little nest, I can build them a bunch of different outworlds of different environments that they can
Yes,
go and
actually,
hunt
they
for food
need.
inside of. And as you can see, I've got the first little outworld right here. Let me build it.
For this first outworld, I want to keep it simple by just laying down some orange sand
that looks
across
like
the whole
sand.
enclosure.
Okay,
Then I put in
that's
some
actually-
rocks and a little cactus, which was kind of hard to get
Cactus,
planted in
okay.
the sand. And even though I was wearing these gloves, it kept poking me, and yeah, it kind of hurts.
Okay, he
Anyways,
has
finally, the most
actually
important part
experience
is
in
this
this.
stuff called Fluon. Basically, it's a liquid that you dab onto a cotton ball and rub across the top of the enclosure. This stuff will basically just dry on the glass and make the top of the
Okay.
enclosure so slippery that ants cannot escape no matter what. After
Oh,
the desert enclosure was
that's-
done, I
that's-
connected the
that's
tube from
crazy.
it into the nest so the ants could go there. And soon enough, I saw a worker
Okay,
come
from
out into
tiny
the tube
parts
and
to
of course
another,
she made
and
her way over
then
to the
they are
desert
moving to a
outworld and started
biggest
to
one,
explore
dude.
all around it. Now the reason for why I built this outworld. I want to test the trapjaw mandibles to see if they can take down prey bigger than them. I'm gonna
Ooh.
put a cricket in
Did you
here.
see
So
that?
without wasting any time, I dropped the cricket in, and it didn't take very long until the cricket came
cricket?
across paths with an ant. You see, trapjaw ants have these little hairs inside of their jaws.
cricket
to detect
is
when prey
actually
is within
scared, dude.
striking distance. It lunged at the cricket and snapped its jaws,
Ooh.
but it missed. The ant tried to attack the cricket a few more times, but all of the shots were missed.
these
In fact,
looks
it was
like
taking
the
so
bullet
long that
ants
the
to
cricket
me.
made its way into the tube and crawled all the way into the nest with all the other ants. Now,
Oh
it
my
wasn't just
god,
about
and
food. The
he's
colony needed to
into
take down
the
this cricket in
food
order to make sure
section.
the queen
Okay.
didn't get hurt. While the cricket frantically ran around, almost all of the workers were taking their shots to try and cut off the cricket's leg or something. It was taking a
Ooh.
long time, but eventually this worker here really put in some focus to line up her shots. And when she snapped, she perfectly got a hold of the cricket. She then
Oh
picked
my
it up
god,
and slammed it
dude.
against the floor until it stopped
And
moving. Yes, it's
cricket is dead.
extremely brutal, but the colony had now successfully eliminated the threat and stored it away as food for later. Anyways,
Oh.
over the next few days, I continued to monitor the
87.
colony to ensure their eggs were all growing fine, and even
Okay,
fed them a bit
now
more
we
flightless
see
fruit
some
flies
eggs,
until
yes.
finally it was day 97. The colony now had 12 workers, and of course
12
the queen.
workers,
But
okay.
I did actually notice over in the corner of the nest, one of the ants had curled up and had died.
Oh
It's
my
likely that this
god, this is insane and sad moment for this ant. And he had one job to do, worker, and he was sick and nobody noticed that, and he wasn't able to cure himself. So the worker life is just dead. So maybe you guys just start a business or something like that. Don't be a worker.
That ant here was one of the founding workers, because sometimes those first ants only have the lifespan of a month or two. Anyways, despite the
Yes.
dead ant, the colony was actually still thriving.
And because of that, I think this colony is now ready for an entire new outworld to be built. Because as you can see, they kind of just turned the desert into like a trash
Okay.
dumping ground.
So I got out the enclosure and started to
What
build it.
was
For
that
this
sound,
enclosure,
dude?
I'm literally making the floor out of just this fake grass material that is nice and bright and green. And for the decorations, I'm keeping it very simple with just these two little pieces of bark. And finally, I
Okay,
just hooked
well-
up some tubing so the ants could access the new place. I didn't want to rush them though,
Okay,
so I
we-
gave the
we have
colony a
3
few days
places
to
now.
explore it on their own. And all of the ants were fine on day 98 and day 99. But I came back on day 100 to just a single ant in the nest. I was really confused,
Okay,
but
the
surely
one
they were
single
all
one,
just
why?
exploring the outworlds or something. So I checked the
So
desert
he was
and nothing was
guarding
left.
or
Then
something
I checked
like
the
that?
grassy outworld. Still not a single ant. But then I found it. The tiniest gap under the red acrylic. Barely visible, but it was just big enough for every ant to be able to escape through it overnight.
So actually the ants just gone from a little gap. So you can smell like that. So if you have a little hole in your room, so you can imagine that, say, how quick the ants are, and they can just survive, and they can run off and everywhere.
Except the one, and this wasn't just any ant inside of here.
So he
it
looks
was the
sick,
queen.
more
Queens
sick.
don't just leave
Oh,
the
okay.
nest unless other ants escort them.
She
so
is
she was
actually
here all
sick.
alone on
So how it looks like the same, dude. So how what thing make this aunt is a queen, or I'm not sure about that.
day 100, just like she
Oh my
was
God.
on day 1.
This is seriously so crazy. I mean, I had such cool plans for day 100, but I can't find a single
He actually built 3 homes for the ants colony, and on the day 100 he just gone into the bed, and by morning he see just a queen, nothing else, and every worker just gone, and they left the queen. I don't know why. Why they left the queen alone, and the queen didn't think about that. So she can lift, but why she is there, dude? Why she is actually there? Is this something, is video is scripted or something like that? I don't believe this. So actually this can be happen.
worker ants literally anywhere. I checked all around the table.
I figured there was only one right thing to do. So I got a cotton ball, I scooped the queen up onto it, and put her into a new test tube. She had raised the start of a colony all by herself once, so
Okay.
she should be able to do it again. Let's reset the day counter and do this one more time.
Okay, so he's just going to put that ant queen again, and he's going to make another video on it with the same ant and the same workers he just grabbed from the ant home colony, and he just left the ant queen only. So that was really interesting, and that made me laugh. At the end of the 100 days, and all the workers left the queen, and with just a small piece of a hole. I can't believe this. So if you want to know more interesting videos and ants colonies, so you can stick to this channel. I make every 2 weeks, sorry, every week 2 videos. So make sure one on a Wednesday and one on Sunday. So stick to this channel. If you are not interested, so please don't subscribe. If you really want to have look to my channel and watch my videos, so you can subscribe. So if you are not interested, you can just leave as it, and you can always search my channel Ashology. Always I'll be there for you with a brand new videos. See you soon. Peace.